Attila was born from darkness and despair.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that? Oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, lovers of war, traders of great renown, I, the Strategic Indian, bid you welcome to my channel, where our motto is think, practice thinking. If you like the content, please do not forget to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment, which will greatly help with the almighty YouTube algorithm. Wars are expensive. Total wars are totally expensive. Therefore, if you would like to, then you can support my armies and cities via coffee or directly through PayPal. Links are in the description below. Other than a one-time donation, those entering the monthly membership tiers can have my Heaven Shaker armies named after themselves and watch with pride as they blaze their way to glory. For the city builder in you, whole cities can be named after you, which will last the test of time herself. Thanks in advance for any and all support. Now, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing with our undefeated run with the Western Roman Empire, playing with the This is Total War challenge at legendary difficulty. In the previous 31 episodes, we have not lost a single defensive or offensive battle, nor have we abandoned any of our starting settlements. The channel has been up and running for more than 200 days now, and we are close to 100 subs. So thank you for the support, boys, and let's get on with it. Gaze upon this, a full cavalry army under Stilicho, Legio the First Edutrix, which is now going to go and do a lot of fancy tricks. A lot of dirty tricks we are going to get up with this army, and this army I have basically thought that it should go first to the Angle capital, because this is another Angle fight we'll have to do because they rebuild their army so fast. So what I'm going to do first is that, we're going to put forward our weakest cavalry with the least number of people so that we can play dodge the rocks against their onager, which you can see in the distance. So as soon as the onager fires, we change direction, and we do it with the least number of cavalry. So they're firing, move, get out of the way. And we do it with the least number of cavalry troops, because then that has the least cross-sectional area and therefore the least chance to get hit by these rocks. So we wasted all this ammunition, and next my plan is to move forward so that they can unleash. They have 4 dog handling troops and very dangerous Germanic Javcavs. So Javcavs we haven't encountered for a very long time. We did encounter them in the beginning of the battle, I hope you remember. Absolute scourge on earth, and then we are finally meeting them again. And we have got the javelin men, which is going to give us a very, very bad day. So there you can see that dog handlers have released their troops, and all we will have to do is get out and begin running back to the safety of our lines to make these dogs crash on our pike and infantry lines, where they're going to get completely butchered. The trial was that I would get more dogs to be unleashed, but only one dog handler let go of their unit, and my horses are a bit tired, so that's why some of them get caught up, and that is not ideal, because if they get caught up, then they get chomped up by these dogs. We saw how good dog troops are against projectile units in the previous episode, so that was where we fought the Caledonian rebels all the way up in Caledonia at Hibernia in the Scottish Highlands. We went ahead and really humiliated those Caledonian rebels. They didn't know what hit them. So here, I will lose a few horses. Nothing is to be done about it. And also what we have is that one of their Lancer units have moved forward, and you know that they're preparing to attack because they have adopted the wedge formation. Wedge formation means that they will carry through with the charge. Excuse me. Wet my throat a little bit. Never commentate on a dry throat. So they are definitely coming in for the charge, but we have pikes, and I have an absolute treat for you guys when you see what happens to these troops. So my plan is to essentially move the cavalry forward, bring out slowly each one of these troops, and then engage them. And the plan more or less worked, and yeah, it didn't work entirely, just like our Balkan plan. It was perfect. The Balkan plan is perfect. It just doesn't work. I don't know why, but the Balkans are very uncomplicated place in the world, as you know, and therefore, yeah, my plan didn't work, and I don't know why. So that's what the UN also keeps saying. So yeah, we have basically now rendered one of these dog handling troops completely useless, because without their dogs going up against our projectiles, they are essentially useless. They can't fight Roman heavy infantry, and they can't do anything against any of our troops. So I was thinking of charging this Lancer unit, but basically envelop it with horses, but then I was like, yeah, why should I give it the privilege? Might as well go against these Jegut javelin men, who are going to be a very big pain in this battle. And this is some tier 1 unit, but yeah, I don't know. This one really gave us a lot of pain. So Jegut, if you see like old High Saxon, it's actually pronounced as Yogt. And that is the same in Dutch for the youth, Yogt. My pronunciation is not perfect. I'm misremembering it. Yeah, it's J-A-U, Yogt. Yeah, whatever. Youth. And basically that is the same word that we have over here. So these are these young wolves, or these young warriors that these Germanic troops bring. Young guys who are hot-blooded come in and do a charge, unlike these veteran Salian lancers who know better not to charge pikes. They just came and charged pikes. Oh no, Stephen, don't charge pikes. What are you doing? Our pikes just had a field day over here. Meanwhile, in the back, what we did is that we hammered and anviled this yoked javelin men. So one unit is all completely destroyed. So we have taken out one unit of dog handlers. We have taken out their mercenary onager. We have taken out one lancer and one dog troop or yoke. So quite a bit of their army is now basically gone. I'm now going to move forward my entire line, because I want to peel away troops slowly, but sometimes the AI does really smart things, that it sends out more troops that I can handle. Because as you can clearly see, I don't have a main line. My main line is not very large. It's only 2 competency spears and 1 legacy pre-cohorts. What were these things called? They're called something, yeah. That second last unit card. So those are units I had from all the way in the beginning of the game. This was the army which basically destroyed the Swabians way back, many moons ago. And I just kept that one troop, because if I upgrade it, I get to pay more upkeep while not getting much benefit. So here I'm trying to tease one of their horse dog handlers to let go of their dogs, so that, and then this particular horse unit gets mauled very badly by this yoked. And we have this additional trouble that their Jav Cav is coming forward, which is not ideal, because the Jav Cav is going to be protected by these javelin men. So I cannot, if I had only this javelin unit come forward, if the only javelin unit which came forward was the Jav Cav, I would have completely flattened it with so many projectiles that I have. And of course my perpetually out of line Levis Amatore, because they are the best. So I have made sure that they don't fire at will at this point, because if they fire at will, they'll fire at will at these dogs while my infantry is handling them, is taking care of the dogs, and then they might shoot at the dogs and basically shoot my own line in the back. So another unit of dog handlers are basically just essentially getting used up, because yeah, the dogs are just being stopped by the pikes and by the infantry line. However, their entire line is now moving forward, and here I have quite a lot of trouble because I can't move forward very much with my projectile units because their projectiles fire much faster, do more damage to my people, and my people will perpetually be out of range. They'll try to rearrange their positions, and then I essentially get into trouble. So I can't take out their Javkev and I can't take out their Javelin men. So it's a bit of a sticky situation. So I've kept my general also far back, because if they see my general, they are going to completely flatten him. Even if he's fully staffed with 160 bodyguards, these javelins and these Javkev is not something to joke about. So here I will try to see what I can do, how I can place them. I'm also not able to dive in with my cavalry, because if I dive in with my cavalry, the Javkev is going to support the yoked Javelin man, or the Javelin man is going to support the other guys. I'm going to move my pikes back and go into Testudo, because whatever fire comes, I will have to take it on my armored units, which are my combatants, spears, and this pre-cohorts. Because the pikes cannot, of course, take any hits, and I will have to bring the pikes back into play at the last moment. I'm also very scared for my horses, because if this Javkev basically sees my horses or tries to engage them, they are going to absolutely wreck 3-4 units of horses with one Javkev. Needless to say, I really dislike Javkev. You can never use them properly. When you are trying to use them, they basically don't do anything. They keep moving forward and without throwing the javelins. If you try to do anything with them, they just don't obey your commands. They're always out of range, or they're running the opposite direction. My projectile lines are acting completely retarded. I'm getting some shots off on that Javkev, so I'll send my horses in to catch it before it recovers its morale. So one unit is going to go in, the other is going to go after their yoked Javelin men. I've kept my general nearby because, yeah, this is a very tough fight at this point. My stupid projectile line is going through the infantry to go into fight, which is absolutely retarded. It's absolutely retarded why this pathing happens. That's why I put them on the skirmish mode. Now one of my horses went and charged the general instead of that Javelin men, and then the Javelin men still have got a lot of ammunition, and it's continuing to fire. And it's whatever it gets its hands on in this fight, it's going to have a field day. So I have to constantly move my horses to trigger the skirmish mode of these Javelin men, so that they don't get shots off. One of my Levis Amatore are running because they were absolutely retarded, and yeah, the charges are not happening. Their javelins are continuing to fire. Their general is on a mission to catch up with my horses, but more or less their ammunition is done. Now, just like troll skirmishers, 3 curses upon them, 3 curses on the infernal troll skirmishers, I will have to melee these guys, and they are pretty good in melee. So be careful of troll skirmishers and these javelin men. When your javelin men are the worst in the world. So Levis Amatore, yeah, forget about them being in melee. But these guys are very good in melee. So one of the best units in melee, other than infantry, of course, is in the game, in my opinion, are the Armenian slingers. Heavily armored troops. They can even they have a nice shield, so they've got very good block chance. And even if you do a full charge on them, they basically stand and fight. They're very competent units. So here my cavalry is essentially not able to perform very well. And of course, this is very important that I make sure that I have to take full use of my cavalry. So that yoked took out 267 people. My god, 267 people. This one stupid unit of javelin managed to pull off, and what my Levis Amateur did in the meantime was essentially run through the stupid infantry line, make a fool of themselves, and get off the battlefield. 0 kills. My slinger is so perpetually out of position that I can't even get him to fire, because if he fires now, he's going to fire through my infantry line. Yeah, this is not good. This is it started out so nicely. It was such a textbook. That's the problem with the game, and that's why we love it, of course. That it can really go south very, very quickly. It can go south very, very quickly. We were really picking up each one of their units by their weaknesses and utilizing those weaknesses, and now here we are 5 minutes later getting chomped on by their javelin men, who are getting close to 300 kills. It's ridiculous. I've hammered and anviled this spike, but the spike took it, and my horses, who are attacking them from the back, could not make the spike run away. So I'll just send him after these javelin men so that they can be made to leave the field before they recover their morale and come back to fight. 36 people with still a little bit of ammunition, so I don't want to take this insult. So our this is terrible. Finally we are getting shots off. Finally we are sending shots downhill. I'm going to take my infantry got mauled up, my pikes got mauled up, my cavalry got mauled up, my projectiles got mauled up. Who didn't? My general didn't get mauled up because he didn't fight. Great. Man, this is painful. We were doing so well in this. Happens to the best of us. This is, of course, Western Roman Empire. This is total war without any losses. In the English-speaking world, I believe I'm the only person who's doing this without losses. People have done This is Total War, of course. And of course, in the Russian-speaking world, we have Total War Cat, big hero of mine. I learned a lot from him. Fantastic channel. Go check him out. And yeah, here we were doing so well. This was such a textbook fight, but yeah. Nothing to be done. I'm going to make sure I take these javelin men out, and I'm going to wipe this army. I'm going to destroy this army because I'm not happy about this at all. The general has now come into melee. I don't care. He's standing on pikes. Let him just go and kill himself. I'm going to just fire on this one unit of Germanic pikes which are trying to move forward, ruin our show, and try to pick up as many prisoners as I can, recover. My plan was actually to take this army and take out the other army which they have, and probably swing south towards Colonia against the capital and blow up their capital. That's not going to happen. We got it. We got some revenge. Only 55 people out of 1654 which came got away, completely destroyed this army. Gives me a little bit of comfort, but this army is not in a position to fight, and I'm going to go back to Colonia Agrippina because we have the Angles nearby who probably will jump us. Yeah, Stilicho has to take out Tulifordum, and then he has to go and take out the Franks, keep moving north, go up against the Jutes, and if possible the Geats. He can get jumped from the side because we have Rugians on the side. We have also discovered the Danes, who somehow survived because Danes always get wiped out, just like the Varanians. But the Varanians gave us such a bad time. Varanians jumped at us at their Octutorum and almost finished us. We just had one unit of archers to fight against a whole army, and we won just by killing their general and whistle-shotting that army. But I'm going to begin the Rhine offensive. This is Rhine offensive 2.0. Stilicho is on the way towards Lupfudium, which is the capital of the Saxons. Saxons are laying siege at us at Colonia Agrippina, so we will have to fight it. Of course, I'm not afraid of that because that is they'll never get through Colonia Agrippina. Colonia Agrippina is going to be held. Let's see, puppet states of the Sassanids. They are only fighting one non-consequential horde and us. All their other enemies are gone. White Huns are gone. Hassanids are gone. Yeah, Hassanids never had a chance, but White Huns being eliminated is of course a terrible tragedy for us. So they might send armies all across the Eastern Roman Empire, across the sea, to the boot of Italy. So we have Syracuse and a few towns over there. So we'll have to see what the Sassanids do. Eastern Roman Empire will... So the Eastern Roman Empire, more or less Africa, they have lost. They just have the capital of province of Libya, Ptolemais. So they are launching a full infantry attack on Marcomedes. Marcomedes, please remember, has a level 2 port, a fishing port. So I have 2 units of bow ships and 1 unit of marine. So I'm going to take on this really heavy infantry battle where I have very few troops, as you can see, but we are going to win. So what I did is that I sent my bow troops to just fire arrows at their general, and I put my marine orthogonal to the landing place of where most of their units come to land. So in that manner, I'm able to block their ships from landing. So that general has already been sunk. There we go. So I set fire to his ship. I'm now moving my bow ships in a manner so that I can fire on the maximum number of ships. They have brought in 1 unit of Arab desert raiders, which is trying to get into the city, but it can't because both entrances are guarded by comitatenses and cohorts. So they realize that they won't be able to fight against such heavy infantry in Station Testudo. So what they're doing is they're running around the city, setting fire to the city, which is just causing me a lot of consternation. Another one of their ships has gotten caught fire. That's just brilliant. I moved forward one of my marines, my marine ship, so that I can basically stop 1 unit from landing and set fire to the maximum number of ships as I can. And if those ships sink, then they lose 160 people as is. With their general dead, I don't expect tier 1 Roman infantry to basically stand for too long. So this fight is going to turn in our favors very soon. We are going to alternatively whistle shot and fire shot this army into running away. My plan over here is to make most of their units run away intact. The reason is I want the Eastern Roman Empire to spend money on just getting a large army at Ptolemais, because then it has 2 options. One, it can of course come and attack me at Marcomedes, and I can put my emperor over there and he can guard against these fights. Unless they come on land, then killing their general is not going to be easy. Their morale will be up, but they can't get from Ptolemais to Marcomedes in 1 turn. They can do it by sea, which they are attempting now, and I will hopefully continue to win those fights. Alternatively, if they do build up an army in Ptolemais, then that can go and fight against Nobatia, which has taken up all of the province of Egyptus and most of Libya. 1 province of Libya out of 3, not most, 1/3. And then Nobatia is going to come for us at Marcomedes, which is the nearest point, which I'm confident I can win, but I would rather have that the Eastern Roman Empire goes after them, weakens them a little bit, engages them in fight, or forces them forces the Nubatians to essentially besiege Ptolemais for a few turns, give me a few turns to build up an army under the emperor, and then go out and take out and basically take on all of Africa. But then I get to see Aksum, I get to see Hemyar, which are going to send quite competent troops against me, which is also another issue because I will only have one army in Africa. I am right now restricted to 10 armies, and yeah, I have 10 armies, 8 armies right now, and I will raise 2, one in Domavia to take on the Huns, and one in Africa to basically take on the Nubatians and Eastern Roman Empire. So essentially I'll have to wait till I get more armies, then I can send additional troops to help Stilicho to go in the north, or I can send in more troops to conquer Africa, because Africa has got so much wealth, it's just obscene. I can make a lot of money in Egyptus, in Libya. I won't conquer the Aksumite places and Nubatia because I'll burn it. I would rather burn it because keeping public order there won't be easy for me. And then we have to first increase the money and then go after these 2 provinces. Another alternative is that I can send my armies to conquer Macedonia and Thracia from the Eastern Roman Empire and completely bring the all of the Balkans under my hegemony, so that we can implement our plan of making it a very peaceful place. So, yeah, as you know, I'm a big proponent of peace. As you can see, you're seeing our peaceful campaigns, no war at all. And what I can then do is that if I control Macedonia and Thracia, of course I'll have to put in troops over there because Huns will walk into that territory. If I capture that place, I think from Thracia alone, I can make 12,000 gold per turn from that one province. It's obscene the amount of money that Thracia and Macedonia actually give. It's obscene. And I love it because I'm a min-maxer. You know that the channel motto is that if you are traders of great renown, I really love war, but I also love trade. And I love those precious pixels where I can see those gold doubloons all lined up and giving these 4 or 5 digit returns, because we right now have gone to 12,000 income. I just want to push this number up and up and up, and that's what gives me a lot of joy. We have 1 unit of horses, and I would have to take on and capture a lot of troops with this 1 horse unit, which makes it very difficult because they're running in opposite directions. Yeah, this shouldn't be an issue for us. Let's just watch the fight. I'll make sure that all the ammunition is donated, and they are donated alternatively. So I'm going whistle shot, I'm going fire shot, and what I'm doing is making sure that we have got an ability to basically make this army run as and when we choose. There goes our fire arrows, and I'll switch him to go to whistle shot. The fire arrows are actually free because I have towers nearby which is still standing. So if you are in a pinch and you don't have ammunition to do both, then I would suggest always do whistle shot, because then the tower gives fired morale damage. -4 morale, I believe, and whistle shot is -9, so -13 morale. Then you have the general dead morale debuff, that's another one. So then making these early armies run is nobody's business at this point. I've landed my bow ships because I cannot reach from the water any units, so might as well land them. Always make sure you reload their ammunition before you land them so that they get the maximum number of ammunition. Once on land, both ships cannot recoup their ammunition, which they can do in the water. So yeah, they have 6 arrows or something, so make sure you have them. I'm going to move them to orthogonal to the side of where this big clump of infantry has formed up. My commander says spear is not doing very well because there is a unit of mercenary desert legionary defectors which are very good at fighting commander spears. My horses are doing their best. They need to be at 2 places at the same time, but they can't be because these are not quantum scout equities. But we're getting there. We'll also send our cohorts to go and capture these soldiers because it's a bit hard for me to catch up all of these troops, and I think I should send help because this garrison, this is just a garrison, will have to immediately fight. Hopefully not the Nobatians, but probably it has to fight the Eastern Roman Empire again. I will raise an army here, but might as well keep as many troops alive and making sure that we do have quite a nice deterrent at this location. Beautiful. So some of our own horses are going to get hit. So right now this infantry is going to fold. All of them fold. They have got fire damage, they have got whistle shot, they have their general dead, they got charged from the back. I'll try to do a mop-up, try to get as many troops while leaving substantial amounts for the Eastern Roman Empire to continue paying upkeep on. I'll send out infantry to also do the mop-up because the horses have to go and catch the farther units. While these bows and arrows continue to fire as much as I can to basically get some free kills. I don't get ransom from the units I kill, and therefore I'm going to send out infantry and my cavalry to capture as many as we can without shooting them in the backs while they run away. So right now what we have is that turn 20 has ended. Attila is going to get born in this episode, and that's why I put that cinematic way up at the beginning. And he is going to get born. What I did is that I went ahead and started a playthrough with the Antians to see how many units or hordes does the Huns get in turn 20. They get 2 hordes which spawn near the capital of the Antians, which I can't remember for the life of me right now, and they get 9 units each, and these are mostly tier 1 Hunnic bows, which can cause us grief because it's very difficult to catch those units or make them fight. They often run away and then they whistle shot, or they fire and then they run away from the battlefield without me able to catch them. And they get 1 unit of tier 2 lancer and tier 2 melee cavalry. Nothing to be worried about if I have pikes. So that's what they get. Once it is turn 420, so 100 turns have been expired. We have just now finished 10 turns, then they get a lot more. But we'll get there. We'll cross the bridge when we get there. The Grathangians saw a nice chance in that we got a rebellion at Aquileia with the Western Roman Separatists. 3 curses on the Western Roman Separatists. The most strongest faction in the game. Way stronger than the Huns and the Sassanid Empire combined. I mean, be scared of the Western Roman Separatists. You have no idea. If you go on the forums, There are kids who play 2 hours of Attila. Oh my god, the Huns, my god, I played on easy and they kicked my butt. Yeah. Western Roman separatists, yeah. Legends will say that, my god, what a odious faction. My god, what an odious faction. So what I did is, I'm going to defend the stronghold because they have only one artillery ship which can completely decimate my infantry troops which are sitting in the stronghold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my scout equities to dodge the rocks of this one artillery ship. It's very easy, it can fire only one rock and I would have to be real terrible to lose a lot of troops to it. Sometimes it does happen because I'm micromanaging both sides. I'm trying to see where their scout equities charges me, and I have got the double trouble of them having a ballistarii, and that ballistarii, as I've explained, is a very dangerous unit, especially when it fires in an arch. If they fire at your face in a parabola parallel to the ground, then it's no problem if you're in stationary to Trudeau. It's still pretty bad, but not that bad. Them firing in an arch is really the end of me. I'm also keeping an eye on this scout equities so that it doesn't come and charge my scout equities, because I have nowhere to hide in this map. Because if I go to hide, if the scout equities comes after me, then this artillery ship won't be able to see my scout equities. It will go to my infantry line and completely butcher them, although it doesn't have much ammunition left. But yeah, you have to be careful that that artillery ship is made to fire your rocks at your scout equities as far away from the city as possible, so that we can really engage in this game. Here I think I lost 3 horses unnecessarily, so yeah, rip 3 horses. And I will have to ensure that once this artillery ship has done firing and the scout equities has been engaged, I can finally go and charge this scout equities into their ballistarii, because this ballistarii, I don't want them begin firing, because then that will really ruin the day of my infantry troops. The scout equities is really doing a real reconnaissance around. It's like a tourist. Look at that. Tourist scout equities. I can't even go against their ballistarii while this scout equities prevails, because yeah, their scout equities against my scout equities, even if they are at half strength, I will lose. So be mindful of that. AI cheats big time in legendary difficulty. So I'll have to bring back my scout equities. I'll walk them back, because yeah, I can't charge this ballistarii anyway. Might as well not run the whole way and get my boys tired. I'm having a lot of trouble deciding where I want to put my archers, because I can fire on their ballistarii and take them out that way, but yeah, it's a huge waste of ammunition, because these guys wear cotton shirts, have no melee damage, no melee defense, so one charge from a scout equities is going to completely melt them. And here I have to go and spend resources by firing arrows at them. And also what they do is that they spread out, go in a diffuse formation, and therefore I'm unable to actually get a good amount of shots and take them out very quickly. Here in this city, whenever you see this kind of a Roman city, the enemy doesn't break down the barricade. I don't know why. They love barricades. We have seen that consistently throughout the series. But this particular barricade, I have never had experience of anybody trying to break down this barricade. I have fought 4 Hunnic armies against a garrison plus a little bit of 20 troops of Visigoths, you know, and I held this position. 4 armies of Huns came. You know, it took them forever to actually come inside the map, because the AI can support 40 units of itself. 40 or 80? 40 units of the enemy and 40 units of your friends, so 80 units total on the battlefield. So they had 4 armies. So once they sent in 2 armies, it took forever for the other 2 armies to walk into the city. So they had plenty of motivation and opportunity to actually go and break this barricade. They never break this barricade down. I've noticed that consistently. So you can easily put a scout equities, a ballistarier over there, and you can be sure that barricade is not going to get broken. You can also put your cohorts on that barricade so that they can throw their troops, their ammunition, then they can get away, and then you can leisurely cycle all of your cohorts so that they can take their pot shots from these barricades. Barricades are very special, that Sagittarii do a lot of damage. The unit which does the most amount of damage from barricades are units which have got Franciscas, so throwing axes. So mercenary axe warriors, which are Celtic and Germanic units, they do 346 HP damage per Francisca. And if you are having somebody trying to break down the barricade, and that's when they begin firing, then 1, they don't have to reload, 2, they don't have any range difference from themselves and the enemy, 3, they have full accuracy, and 4, they have maximum damage. That is just devastating to whoever is going to stand near the barricade. I think if elephants tried to break down that barricade, they have 1600 HP and they can fire 3 precursors or something. I'm sure I could kill elephants from barricades throwing Franciscas at them, throwing axes at them. I wish they had units like Age of Empires which threw Franciscas, like the French unique unit of Age of Empires 2, the throwing axemen. We don't have such a unit in Attila, because I can understand where are they going to keep all these axes as ammunition.
They are trying to take out our general. Defend him.
Keeping arrows in a quiver is easy. Keeping a bunch of javelins is easy, but keeping a bunch of axes is really troublesome. I can imagine being on the march with a bunch of axes, and then you have to hand out those axes in real life. Is not easy. Age of Empires doesn't have a reload mechanism, so then everything has infinite ammo. So if there is a skirmisher, he can throw infinite number of skirmishes. Archers have infinite number of arrows. It's a different game, of course. Amazing game. But here we actually have ammunition and stuff. I'm going to try to put my most of their units are folding, because these are units which can't fight against Roman infantry. These are some ram ships. What my strategy here is that I have to ensure that nobody from the Western Roman Separatists survives, because this is a rebellion, and it is going to get it's going to give me every turn -3 public order, which is terrible given the situation all across the empire. This is the last thing which I want is free -3 public disorder. So I will make sure that this army goes. They have additional warriors which are also there, additional rebellions in Insulae Occidentalis. Occident is the east or the west? Yeah, Occident is the west, because I don't speak any French. And Insulae Orientalis is the east, because Orient is the east, and Occident is the west. Yeah, that's how difficult it is for me to remember them. Like, I had a very funny incident where we had to learn that alkenes have got 2 orientation, cis and trans, and then by IUPAC nomenclature you turn them into E and Z orientation, where E is Entgegen and Z is zusammen, so same side and opposite side. So I was explaining to the Dutch kids that I taught at university that, hey, this is what it means. And they said, no, we know, because that's a Germanic word. It's also the same in Dutch. I know what it means. I know it literally. But for me, speaking English and Hindi and Bengali, I had no idea what these words meant. So I had to actually sit and write down, and we were like, what the hell does this word mean? How can Z mean the same thing on the same side and E mean something on the other side? Makes no sense for me. But it did make sense to the Dutch people and to the German students I had. It was really hilarious. They were like, no, you don't need to worry about this. We know what it means. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I had to memorize it and yeah. Chemistry, that's the point. You do need to memorize a little bit. That's why physicists, they hate on you. And I also make fun of physicists whenever I find them. That, yeah, physicists with their 1 million assumptions of, a frictionless plane, a massless, a vacuum, a perfect vacuum, then, assuming something which doesn't have any mass, yeah. Then this one-dimensional box, this two-dimensional box. Make a one-dimensional box, man, and then talk. Make a box of 2 dimensions, then let's talk. Make a frictionless plane, then let's talk. They will always go like, yeah, chemistry has got a lot of exceptions. That's our only argument. This 90 IQ, room temperature IQ, Michiro Koku going out there every day making fun of chemists, not realizing that chemistry, for example, there are 10 to the power like 7 solid compounds. You can't make a law which is going to go and obey each one of them. It's preposterous to even suggest that. The way physics works is that it assumes so much that it goes and makes those laws work. Because, yeah, in a frictionless plane, yeah, in an ideal world, I have got 112 million subscribers because I work really hard on my videos and don't put clickbait on it. Right, I don't. I have 100 subscribers because I'm playing a niche game. There we go. Let's hammer and anvil this general and get it over with. So yeah, physicists make fun of chemists, therefore I like to make fun of physicists. It's of course very healthy and very important to the discussion that we discuss each other's weakness and therefore we can eliminate them and understand that there are extremities to science which we have to respect and grow from. It's just friendly, healthy relationship, just like the Western Roman Empire has very friendly and healthy relationship to all of its neighbors. Because the neighbors are deserts. There are no neighbors of the Western Roman Empire. Except the Eastern Roman Empire who are just too difficult to kill off this early on. But we're going to go out there. This rebellion falls. Thank you for the views. I hope to catch you back again for the next episode. Whereby we will have Attila, where the Huns will get 2 stacks and then they are going to barrel down and they are probably going to come to the Balkans, where we are going to maintain the cultural harmony and the peace in the Balkans. Thanks again. Until the next time. This has been the Strategic Indian signing out.